Hey, how are you? We are live once again. Jon here, founder of chaosmap.com, creative director, a digital agency in Los Angeles. If you're coming in live, thank you. If you're listening on Media and Marketing Podcast, iTunes Podcast, Stitcher, elsewhere, I really appreciate it because, man, we talk about so many cool and exciting things here around media and marketing and business, and it includes even a bunch of tech stuff. We get kind of geeky because that's my background. I'm originally a software developer, and while I don't develop as much anymore, it really I just have a lot of fun with the geeky stuff as well. But hey, today we're going to go non-geeky on you. We're getting a little geeky, actually. You take it back, but it's going to be a much more fun for you to look at some visuals if you're coming in live. And if you are listening, I'll describe it for you. And any links, etc., I will provide in the download section in the show notes, as always. And again, if you want more information on all the things we talk about here, you can head on out to the agency at chaosmap.com, chaosmap.com. Love to have a chat with you, see if we can help you and steer you right. All right, why do I show this picture of the guy with the hand, his face in his hand here? Looks like he's just about to lose it. Well, that's not uncommon when we talk about advertising and specifically Facebook ads. And today's topic, of course, we're going to cover why most Facebook ads launch strategies fail. And that really what I mean there is anything that you're doing in terms of launching new campaigns using Facebook and the ads platform tend to not perform the way you think, right? Very exciting to launch your first campaign if you're a beginner. And if you're seasoned and a veteran, of course, if you have capabilities, it's going to be easier for you because you've seen the pains and the struggles and the loss of time and money for just what seems like a total waste, paying out the Facebook tax dollars, right? But hey, let's break through this a little bit here today. That's the intention, and to share with you some of the most important things that you should consider when ramping up Facebook ads. And we're talking about Facebook here today, but really you can just summarize this to say any ad platform, because as you know, when it comes to marketing and sales and how you present your messages and how you resonate with an audience, whether they're on Google or Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat or Pinterest or YouTube, you need to communicate with them in their language at that moment in time. So it's a lot of psychology going on here. We obviously talk a lot about math and profitability, but today I'm really going a little bit broader here, but it's still very important. And of course, as you know, there's a lot of discussion about what boxes to check, what campaign types to launch, what are some of the things I should check, not check, etc. Very tactical stuff inside the Facebook Ads Manager environment, which of course is important, but that is what I call the engine. That is the tactical stuff. That's what's going to really propel you going forward once things are working. But there's going to be a lot of trial and, basically you're going to fail. I hate to be that negative, but campaigns out the gate don't really work most often, right? I mean, you could have a luck of the draw and hey, it's working, but something else is going to break, right? So it's a constant battle. And so that's Facebook, the ads manager environment, right? But what you really need to look at to make really the wings, if you will, talk about this sort of airplane kind of concept here is, if Facebook ads platform and the tactical stuff is the engine, well, what is the wings and the lift that provides real lift for you? Well, let me switch over here. This is what it is. And I'm just using an example here for marketplan.io, kind of cool software, actually, if you want to check that out. So what we're really talking about is the important stuff that happens after they click that ad. Yes, you want that attention. You want to create, as you've learned and see me talk about before, the ADA formula works well, like attention, interest, desire, and action. PAS formula, right? Problem, agitate, solve. All these things that you do to get attention. But assuming that that's working, how come they're not buying or booking appointments, or why you're not scaling up your e-com business, selling more? Well, it's because of this thing here. And we're just looking here at a webinar funnel, kind of a sample here, where we have traffic coming in from a blog or organic, SEO, etc. We have announcements here for email. We have Facebook ads here. And what's cool about this is we can plug in numbers here and actually start to understand metrics as we go along. So here you can see I plugged in 300 visitors from the email announcements, 1,000 from Facebook here, 200 from the blog, and so that's a 1,500 to the opt-in, and then so on and so forth. I'm going to describe this more in a little detail, but let me tell you that this right here is what is an underutilized side of the business, as in not focused on enough, right? This is what really creates the magic for your Facebook advertising, and as I said, advertising in general, to really rock the house. And this is the stuff that we do out there on good old chaosmap.com. So we have a lot of experience with this, and we really love this stuff, even though it can get complex. Now, complex doesn't mean that that's the first thing you do out the gate. Just had a question here just the other day. Hey, should we do a webinar? Well, we can certainly do that, but we haven't actually vetted and built out the proof concept yet for some of the other things we're doing. So we don't want to just keep adding stuff, right? Simplicity is really the goal here, not more complexity. And if you're coming in here, I see there's some of you here live. Well, that's fine, but I'm not trying to scare you away by showing these workflows and these funnels essentially, but just suffice it to say, this is one of the more important aspects of your Facebook advertising that you can do is address where they're coming from in terms of traffic. We're going to talk a lot about Facebook obviously here today, but still it comes into an opt-in page and then it converts over at certain rates. And I'll explain this as a second. As I said, I just want to repeat again and remind you that if you're talking with Facebook advertisers, and that could be other agencies or experts and quote unquote gurus in the space, if they don't address this, and they are really just talking about, hey, we got a bunch of traffic in here today. We got low click costs for you. Hey, we got the click costs at 25 cents. We think we can get them down to 15 cents, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, this is part of a overall strategy about building traffic to build Facebook ad account history, et cetera. You hear people talking about seasoning the pixel, et cetera. That's really a kind of a myth, or it's looked at it the wrong way. You're really building history for the account. That's what gets the love, right? But so there's many strategies going in here, but traffic at the top level, we call that vanity metrics in terms of talking about how many clicks and what the click costs were. It's really about the sales and about the customer experience through this funnel, which is what you're looking at right now. So let's just kind of dive through so you can understand the importance of where this can in so many ways break, right? First things first is your Facebook creative. How well is that attracting? Of course, we talk about CTRs at that point. We talk about costs overall, CPMs, click costs, all of that. So you got to have those in check. But if you're doing well here and focusing a lot on this and none of this other stuff behind the scenes is working, it's going to totally fail. So a balancing act is definitely needed here. So if you get 1,000 visitors in and from blogs and email announcements, 1,500 come into the opt-in page for this webinar registration, 20 people register, that's 300, right? You can then send out email reminders or text messages once you get this from the confirmation page and the email. Maybe you get 100 visitors from messaging here, 20% from actually people who signed up to actually join the live webinar. Because people who come in through the lead magnet, they have said they're going to join, but they haven't actually joined yet, right? So 60 here and 10 from your email blast. Well, that leaves us at 170 people on the actual live webinar. Now, I haven't continued breaking this out into percentages, but just this portion of it, can you see how important it is to track these metrics? Because not only track it, but to optimize it, because you could spend a lot of money trying to get Facebook right, when in fact you can work on traffic that you already have. That is email traffic, that is organic traffic, that is partner traffic, affiliate traffic, all the things that you're doing, making sure that this one here, this experience through the webinar funnel is one of the best that your customers, clients, or patient can get, right? So then you simply continue. So out of the live webinar, how many actually continued on, but there was an abandonment, right? Well, then you can do Facebook retargeting and then get them back into the funnel over to the order page. Was there an abandoned breakout from a sequence that you had through emails? Well, then you can get them back in to the funnel and get them on the order page, right? From the order page, how many actually signed up? Well, the cart abandon becomes an aspect of retargeting, right? So the webinar is one level. Here's another one for the cart. Same thing with email here, get them back on so that they can order. And of course, over to the thank you page. And everything here is tracked. Everything is tracked through pixels. Everything is tracked through scripts and Google Analytics, et cetera, et cetera. So ultimately, this model, you can map it out like this with a market plan here. But also, this allows you to essentially streamline. We have a webinar that's been doing really well for us in coming in at about $4, a little over actually, per lead into a webinar funnel. And we find that the ads are working pretty well, video ads in that case, but we really need to go back and redefine how we're doing the webinar itself, because we're actually not getting a full level of participation coming out of the live webinar and so forth. So if you are talking with somebody and they talk a lot about Facebook ads and the Facebook ads manager and the, we can boost up your CTR, etc. Those are vanity metrics. You really need to discuss how the workflow works, no pun intended, for your business, and map out these steps all along the way so that you can find out what are the conversion optimization points of interest that you can address, but also how does this math play out? So at the end of the day, when you spent X, you got back Y, right? So we talk about ROAS in terms of return on the ad spend. Yes, very important, right? But even more important is the customer lifetime value and the return on investment. And so that's what you get over time. And so if you have a business, or if you're a consultant, sorry, pardon me, I got a little frog going on here. So if you're a consultant and you're trying to solicit business, discuss these areas almost first, right? Yes, talk about your Facebook experience. You've processed handled millions of dollars per month, et cetera. Not trying to underplay or downplay that area at all. You got to know what you're doing, but you can do so much here. And that also sets you apart as an optimizer, as an advertiser, as a media buyer, that you can talk about these things and make it a lot better for yourself and for your clients. So anyway, that's really kind of the quick summary of it all here, so that you don't look like this guy, head in hand, face palm. It's really just sad to see so many businesses hang up the horn too quickly because they didn't give it enough time, or they didn't understand the importance of the back end and the funnel and the opportunities for upsells, cross sales, and mapping out their dollars essentially. Anyway, I got to take off to another meeting here, guys and gals, but it's really enjoyable as always to be here with you. If you want to head out to chaosmap.com, chaosmap.com, happy to help you out here and give you some tools and insights, no charge at all. So feel free to come on over and talk to us. We're a friendly bunch, and we love what we're doing here. All right. Well, thank you once again, and we'll catch you on the next one.